This is where it ends. It's time.
We talk about this all the time. This final season, we've had so many discussions about it, and I'm sure it's surreal for you. The countdown is on. Have you had a chance to really just kind of sit down and let it sink in that, yo, this is it? We've really done 15 seasons of this.
Not yet. For me, not really yet. I mean, I had a bit of that, I guess, because we got sent home. We were supposed to finish in April, early April, first week of April. And we got sent home on Friday the 13th of March. It was sort of like, hey, get home. We'll call you when it's time to finish. And that's like being stopped mid-sprint. You're like, but I see the finish line. Like, it's right there. And like, I've been able to, I think Jensen and I have both been able to kind of ignore it. It's like, okay, we're mid-season. Now we're moving on. Now we have this, now we have that. And because we got sent home after the first day of episode 19, which is our second to last episode, I think he and I both were sort of like, what? Now we have to actually deal with the fact that we're going to be ending. So I sort of had a little appetizer of what life's going to be like living home in Austin with my wife and kids and chasing them around and not being Sam Winchester for a little bit. So it's definitely surreal. But I couldn't be more proud of the way the show wraps up.
To be honest, and Jared can attest to this, we've been doing so many interviews and Zoom roundtables and wrap-ups on the show and talking about it, because it is a big deal. I mean, it's a 15-year show. Those don't come along too often. So we've been really rapping out about it quite a lot this past week. So for me, I still feel like I'm, it's like the interviews after the Super Bowl. It's like I've still got my pads on. I still got dirt in my hair, and I still, I'm still talking about the game like it, because it just ended like a few moments ago, and we just won it, and it's great. So I think it's going to take a little bit more time to set in what really happened. But yeah, for me, I still feel like I'm celebrating in the locker room.
How did you celebrate? Did you have that championship champagne pop? Or did you have a champagne shower? What'd y'all do?
Well, we
got myself an Airstream, and I'm going to Florida. That's what I'm doing.
Yes.
Perfect. We did, man. We spent that last day after they called "That's a Wrap" on the series. We spent that last kind of few moments just kind of telling our crew thank you and telling some fellow cast thank you and just kind of soaking it in. He and I took a few moments to just kind of, as the crew was kind of wrapping up and getting ready to go home, we just kind of sat there and looked at each other like, hey man, we did it. We did it. And then the next night we had a farewell dinner at Chipino's in Vancouver in Yaletown, which is a phenomenal restaurant. One of the first ones he and I kind of ever went to because he had been in Vancouver for Smallville and Dark Angel. So he knew where to go. He's like, this is the place. Trust me. You'll meet Pino and this and that. And so 15 years later, it's actually where I went on my first day with my wife 12 years ago. Has a lot of beating and just the best food on the planet.